Yo, what it do? It's your boy OK Beck, aka K Trades, man. Y'all know what's going on. We back with another one, man. So today was pretty fun. We traded some other tickers today, other than SPY. We actually did Microsoft. We got over 100% on those calls today. Nice for the nice gap fill. You got gap fill reversal. We played SPY, over 100% on those. Wanted to get NVDA, didn't really catch NVDA. And we did catch Amazon for a nice low 50%. What else? Oh, Meta, that diamond bottom finally broke. I'm actually low-key pissed about that, but it is what it is. Like I said, you never really miss a trade. You can always get an entry and a pullback. So let's go over what happened today and then basically just get into the game plan, right? And today I'm actually going to be going over other tickers other than SPY. It's crazy, I know, but let's get right into it. So yesterday I talked about how basically all you had to do was watch previous day's close and previous day's lows. And what did I say? I said anything that holds in this zone, right, as long as it holds, you probably pop back up, right? So we got the dip. We took out that previous day's lows, kind of swept it, came back up, set a lower high, and then we kind of held calls, right? And we had this nice little selling channel, which was pretty annoying at first because it took forever for it to actually pop. But it eventually did, so it wasn't really that much of a big deal to just hold it and wait. And this is why I always say buying time, is just a lot more, it's just a lot smarter, because it helps with your emotions, especially if you're not used to, holding trades or letting it play out, right? You got to let things play out because it might take all day, right? It did take a long time, but we still smacked that 100%, right? So let's get into the game plan, right? Same rules apply, right? You go to previous day's close, right? Roughly around 7:51-ish. We'll just use that. Microphone might fall off. We'll use that as a focal point, right? So we have previous day's low, or previous day's close, my fault, previous day's low. So really almost the same exact range as yesterday. Like we didn't really do much on the daily if you look, right? We didn't really do much. And this is kind of concerning, I will say that. So only reason is because we have this major level, this 750 that we can't seem to close necessarily over, we have closed over, but we can't seem to get that push over, right? And we did have a crazy gap up in pre-market, right? We did have a nice crazy gap up, but then it's starting to sell off pretty bad. So, and remember I talked about yesterday how we could possibly be approaching the top, closer towards that trend line. And I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to look pretty crazy, right? We got a little almost head and shoulders, but remember, head and shoulders don't always have to play out. You have to wait till the neckline breaks, right? So anything under 759 or 749, my fault, 748, right? Basically both the last previous 2 days low. You get back under that, right? Strong move, retest, can't get back above, right? You can come all the way down to fill this lower gap at 745. That would be my main watch for downside. Anything below that, like I said, you have to play it by ear. If we do go that low, let me think. Well, it's kind of weird because, like I said, this whole higher high kind of made it a little weird because we did get it in pre-market, yes, but that still counts technically, especially because we don't really have many levels to look left towards, So so basically that'll be our low target. If we do go lower than that, we still have another gap to fill, right, all the way down here at 752, 742. So yeah, and then like I said, if at any point this week we come down to 731, then that'll be a argument for the double top, right? But like I said, I'm not really looking for the double top right now. I'm not really interested in, going ultra short. Like I said, I will short, of course. I have no problem with it. But, we're in a bull market, so, the trader's going to be your friend. So you'll most likely get paid a little more. Because even today, right, even if you took puts today, it was a dogfight for sure, right? Look, so we got the initial opening dump. We popped, double top, right? You know what I'm saying? So this dump took, unless you bought at the money puts, right? It took a little while to play out, right? And then it got the, so it's just a little difficult to play puts, right? If it's an extremely bullish market, right? Now, like I said, if we do just get that clean breakdown, retest, and we just, start to dump, then it'll be more clear that we want to come down here and fill this gap. And then if we do fill the gap, I'd be looking for more so of a, more of a gap fill reversal type of deal, right? Excuse me, all the way down here at 746 to 745 level. And then like I said, we do have one out at 742. So those are the easy downside levels, right? Upside is always going to be a little bit more difficult at all-time highs because we don't have anything to look left to, right? Like I said, you can use your pre-market hours, and that's really about it. Previous days, hours, stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be really the same rules because we kind of closed almost in the same spot, not exactly, but and then we had this little pump and dump that's kind of happening right here in pre-market. So like I said, if we do get down, be very careful because nice little head and shoulder, and they might try to sneak it in there and dump it before market opens. or even open us all the way down here. So it'll be a lot, you know, if, like I said, if we just get that opening range to the downside, you don't want to get trapped, because remember what happened last time, right? Zoom out. Look, last time we had this huge, right? And then it did like this. So if this kind of repeats that same thing, you want to kind of be very careful as far as, you know, just blindly shorting, you know, because like I said, at any point, Trump can be like, we actually got a little news where he was like something about bombing, you know how he does. And we got that little pump to the downside, but we still ended up recovering, you know? So bad news doesn't really seem to be affecting us as much as him saying, you know, like peace deal, peace treaty, and all that stuff. So, you know, he's definitely gonna be a little bit more patient with this one. But that's why we're gonna go over other tickers, because, like I said, it's been pretty easy to, you know, sit and wait, but we haven't really got any good trend days. It's kind of been consolidating. So while we're doing that, let's take a look at some other tickers. First thing first, up first, we got NVDA, right? Whew, kind of sick because I wanted NVIDIA today, but we just got a instant dump. So I was like, hey, if we can get back above, you know, 215-ish, you know, I'll see if we can hold that and push back into this channel, because we're still in this selling channel. So, you know, I'm not just going to, like I said, I'm not just going to blindly open and buy longs, right? You always want to give it time, see how the market opens and settles. So this market, it just opened, it came down to support, right? This is our previous breakout zone, breakout retest. So, you know what I'm saying? This could just be a giant breakout retest. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, you know, over the next couple coming days or so, I'm definitely going to be watching the video, right? If we do get this pump, let's say we open up overnight, you know, and then we kind of hold that bottom of the range, 212, previous day's close, right? We clear previous day's highs, then I'll be, you know, looking forward to taking out some of these higher levels on the video, right? Amazon, we did actually play Amazon today, and this was actually very nice. We caught this one on the breakout, right, of the overall resistance zone, right? And then, look, even better, the 20 and the 5-day curled up, and we got a no bounce off of the SMAs, right? And that's always going to be good, because remember, the SMAs are the higher time frame levels, daily levels. This isn't the, you know, 30-minute 21 EMA. It's not that. This is a daily level, so it's going to be, you know, a lot better when it comes to, you know, swinging in higher time frames. And not to mention, we got a nice little inverse head and shoulders. So this is the neckline. So we did kind of get a little dip during the day, but it got bought up pretty good towards the end of the day. Boom, boom, nice little double bottom, and we're kind of gapping up, right? So I am in 275. I'm in 275 calls. That's my target right now. But of course, like I said, we can just, you know, push. Obviously, we'll leave runners, you know, to go however high it wants. But that's just what I'm in currently right now. Meta. Yeah, I talked about Meta on Sunday, man, because somebody had asked about it. We had this nice little double diamond bottom. So I was like, hey, when this diamond bottom breaks, then, you know, I'll definitely get in. And then look, of course, the diamond bottom actually breaks on the news. This is what I always tell y'all. Somebody always knows, man. The news is always priced in. It's never just it caught us off guard. Like, you know, it's just, if you position yourself right, you know, you'll catch the move. But like I said, I just wasn't positioned, right? So what I'll do, right, instead is just wait to see if we get, you know, an open range push over, you know, and hold the higher levels, right, over this 635, 636 area. But I would prefer it to come down, right, get a little retest, even if it wants to come all the way down here, right? Either or, we'll just watch for the price action and see how that you see how that plays out. Special requests, we got CRWV, right? CRWV, and I don't think I really ever traded CRWV much, maybe like once or twice, but we have broken out of this, you know, selling channel, and like I said, it's not really that. It's kind of still fresh, you know what I'm saying? So we don't really have too much to go off of. But like I said, we kind of broke out of this channel, and then we have I guess you call it a bull flag, you can call it whatever you want. But the only thing that's kind of weird is this here. We kind of broke out, and then we're just in it, right? So I would still wait to see if we can break back above, right? Break out, get back above that 115, and then maybe come towards the fill these gaps at 130. You know what I'm saying? Even the higher 140 gap and all that stuff. So yeah, these are, you know, obviously ones that you would have to buy more time on and just be a little bit more patient with it. Let me see what else. Let's check the VIX real quick. VIX also came down again today. It did get a nice little pop earlier in the day, but it ended up just dumping back off. So, you know, that's starting to, you know, go back to normal levels. Now, if we do start to get the VIX back above, obviously 1920, then we'll probably get that pullback on SPY, right? You know, they go hand in hand and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. Pretty much keep it simple. Y'all know how we do. Keep it simple. I'm trying to think what else. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon. I might as well throw a little Tesla in there just because I know y'all love Tesla so much. I hate Tesla. I'm not gonna lie. I only really trade Tesla on Fridays, to be honest. Last time I traded Tesla, we got crazy. like instantaneous 200%, right? And it was gorgeous. Like I said, it's a fun momentum play, but I just don't like the way it moves as far as like swinging and stuff. Like it's just weird. Like you would have thought this breakout retest would have held, but it didn't. And it came all the way back. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very, very odd. But I digress when it comes to, you know, normal price action. We do have a cup. So if it does want to pull back, right, test the same zone, the one that it tested over here, right? You want to come back, test the same zone. As long as it holds at 430, 425, right? You could possibly see that push back up, get over 444, you know, clear that 450. And then we have, you know, higher targets, 470. And, you know, Tesla's like one of those ones that can run $20 in a day. So, you know, you never really know how far Tesla can run in a single session. So, yeah, be careful with Tesla. Like I said, you never just want to blindly go long because you get stuff like this, right? You get beautiful moves up, right? Even here, charted it out, breakout retest, stuff like that. But it's still just, you know, it didn't necessarily continue. It came all the way back down. So let's actually look at the weekly real quick. Clear all this stuff out the way. My fault. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, it still looks pretty good to the upside. It's just a matter of watching to see if it wants to retest first, because like I said, Tesla can be an asshole, right? You know, Tesla can just be on some BS. But, you know, we do have this upper wick. So if we can go ahead and take out that wick this week, this would be a nice little target, right? If we do gap up or we do continue over, like I said, 444, come out and take out that wick from 2 weeks ago. And like I said, you know, obviously upwards up to 470. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much it. We got SPY, we got NVDA. SPY is actually on a 9-week green streak right now, so that's actually pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty tough. But yeah, but you know how we do. We usually trade more SPY than anything, just because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's just simple. Price action moves the exact same. You know, it's pretty easy to trade. I really do want Microsoft. We'll go back to this real quick. I want Microsoft to really go because we have reclaimed this channel, right? This is a few years worth of, you know, channels. So if it's going to be strong and hold, look what we did, right? You know how we always talk about the bear traps, right? We kind of got a bear trap here. Boom, got this nice move. We can consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 weeks, man. So there was some news that dropped right after the close about Microsoft, but it didn't really seem to do nothing to the stock. So I don't know how that's going to play out as far as, you know, long term, but I do still like it, right? I do still like it. If we can get a push, you know what I'm saying? Finally, we'd be able to do something, but we just haven't, you know, we haven't been able to do nothing. Honestly, if you wanted to adjust it, right, you can use right here. Adjust it a little bit, right? Let's make it a little cleaner. There you go. But yeah, see, like if we can just get back above these breakout levels, every time we come up here to that, you know, roughly that same zone, we just get rejected. So we can finally clear 430. I really think Microsoft can really take off. Mind you, Microsoft is a lagger. Everything else is, you know, kind of pumping. Meta just pumped today, right? We had all type of stuff that's really pumping and going crazy, but Microsoft is just, it's irking me. It's irking me. And don't get me wrong, like I said, we still caught 100%, but I do want to find the actual position in Microsoft and just hold it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, these past couple of weeks, it just has not been, you know, it's not been going. We've been, you know, selling, and then our runners stop out at break even, you know what I'm saying? Selling, then runners stop out at break even. So it's annoying, but like I said, you know, all things will happen in due time. You know, if it's going to push, like I said, we'll get a clear push, right? It may be news, it may be something they'll use, but over that 430, like I said, I think it's really just blue sky territory, especially to catch up, right, to all the rest of everything else, at least at 470, maybe 500. So definitely keep an eye on that. And yeah, y'all know the deal. Keep it simple, man. Remember, trading is as simple as you make it. If you stress out, even like today, everybody's stressing out, oh, this and this. Like, man, it's okay. You know, if you buy time, if you put yourself in the correct position, then, you know, you won't necessarily have to stress about every single entry and exit. You know, you just sit, wait, set some alerts, right? You know, you don't want to clear yesterday's low. You don't want to dump, you know what I'm saying? It's just certain things you put into place, certain rules that kind of keep you from stressing out and stuff like that. So that's going to be it. Keep it simple. Like I said, y'all know what to do. Always keep it simple. Be patient. And yeah, keep y'all first, man. So I'll see y'all tomorrow.